Like everyone's like,
oh, I can't get a girlfriend.
You sure can. Ask out every girl you see in the world. One will say yes. Life is so simple, and yet everyone decided to make it so complicated. I would say humans' great skill is complicating simplicity. Life's simple. You just made it hard.
I have a question for men and women. What is up with all of the pretty women being single? The most gorgeous women, like stunning, body proper, face card on, but they're single. What is it? I really get so confused when I see a beautiful woman with a nice body, with a nice face, and she's by herself.
So you know what I did? I had a conversation with my kids, and I was like, listen, if I die before your dad, you need to know that, first of all, he will find somebody new. It's a fact of life. He's just gonna. So make sure that you meet this person. Just know that he is going to be with somebody. Because men, and it's been statistically shown, for men, their wives are their best friend. But for women, we have lots of friends. We have a huge network of friends. So have you ever noticed, like, when a man passes away, the women are like, woohoo! They're like traveling to Italy and they're on a cruise with their friends and they're playing bridge and pickleball and they're fine. But for men, they cannot be alone. Men like to be taken care of. And so they need somebody else in their life who can do that for them.
You know, the men are starting to see, and this is why they're opting out. This is why a lot of men are going their own way. They're starting to see when you go into a lot of these spaces, whether it's a curated space for dating or an event or a space where you just meet them out in public, out in the wild, quote unquote, you know, it's not really something that's a safe space for men. You know, one wrong word, even if I was nervous, men don't really have a safety net. Right? Even if I was nervous, I come out there and say something, and I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. These modern women are crucifying them on the spot.
Okay, so the women want my tips too. Here we go. Cold approaching men is actually pretty easy in a lot of ways, as long as you remember this one critical thing. Men are not easily creeped out by women. If you've watched my What is Creepy playlist, then you know that creepiness is all about the ambiguity of threat. And because women don't pose as much physical threat to men as men do to women, it's actually kind of hard for us to creep them out. As long as you're not someone or acting really strange, your chances of creeping a guy out are extremely low. But that doesn't mean he's not without fear. He is very afraid of accidentally creeping you out. Most men, especially really good men, are very afraid of reading your signals wrong and thinking you're flirting with him when you're not, and accidentally flirting with you and creeping you out. So I know, trust me, I know the feminine instinct to come up with an excuse to why you're talking to him and subtly starting a conversation. It's because you're trying to make him comfortable and not creep him out. But that's actually not the move. Obviously be polite and respectful, but it is so much better for you to err on the side of being a little too direct and forward rather than being too subtle. I know you might be like, but I don't want to be cringy and awkward, but trust me, he's sitting there very afraid, trying to figure out, is this girl just being nice to me or is she flirting with me? And you being very obvious about, I'm flirting with you and I'm encouraging you to flirt back with me, is making him feel more at ease and calm. I tell guys that their first goal in approaching a woman is signaling to her that I am safe. But for ladies, your first goal is to signal to him that I am interested in you. I am welcoming this interaction. I want you to flirt with me. There are two very solid ways to do this. One, the guys are going to love. The other one, the guys are going to hate, but it works. Option one, approach, compliment, and talk. You go up to him and you say something like, is it okay if I sit here? And then pretty quickly in the conversation, dare I say immediately, you compliment him. Compliment him on something physical. Something like, I noticed you from across the bar and my friends and I think you're really cute. Or something like, I just had to come up and talk to you because you have such good hair. You can compliment his choices, but he might get confused. Like if you compliment his hat, there's a very good chance he's going to be like, oh, she likes the sports team on my hat. Not, oh, she's interested in me. Compliment him and compliment a physical feature if you can. Then tell him your name, ask him his, go kind of slow because it gives him more time to process what's happening and feel calm. Most of the time, this is going to work. But if he's not interested or he has a girlfriend, he's probably going to tell you that pretty quickly. Or she's going to appear out of nowhere and you're going to be like, I'm sorry, girl. Now, if you found yourself sitting there going, Brenna, this is not safe in a lot of situations, delusions. Correct. You need to be really careful with this one because a lot of guys still stupidly believe the myth that creepiness is all about if she finds you hot or not. So it can be very dangerous to compliment and reveal that I find you attractive. So a lot of guys will be like, oh, she finds me attractive. I can't be creepy now. I don't care about her boundaries. And they'll dig their claws into you and not want this interaction to end. So it is smart as a woman to be cautious about showing a man that you don't know that you find him attractive. Only do this when you feel safe, secure, you're with a group, especially if that group has some guys in it. You've got signals with your friends to help get you out of a situation if it's not feeling safe. You're sober and aware and able to slip out of a situation if it seems like it might go south. If you want something a little safer and also easier if you're scared, you're gonna love tip number 2. You're going to stare him down. Not really, you're gonna give him eyes. Giving a guy eyes accomplishes the same initial goal. You're basically trying to show him, I want you to come talk to me. I am welcoming this interaction. You want to be obvious about it too. What you're going to do is you're going to stare at his face. You're going to stare at his eyes. And then when he looks at you and makes eye contact, you're going to hold it for a second. And then you're going to smile and look away and then look back and then look away again and smile the whole time. And then wait a little bit and do it again. And then do it again. And then do it again. And as long as he doesn't seem like uncomfortable or put off by it, then keep doing it. I don't think I've ever done this and not had it work. The idea is everybody gets to feel like he was the initiator, like he approached you. But actually, you were kind of the initiator. You were just non-verbally initiating that invitation from across the room. Remember, it's stare, smile, look away, look back. Feels pretty natural when you're actually doing it. Just channel all of your shy, bubbly gigglies. Let the bubbly gigglies shine through and just keep looking at his eyes as much as you can.
And that's really it. That's really it. I think he's exposing what men go through. It's like the trap. Right? Modern women have pretty much eliminated every single location that a man used to meet him, that a man used to approach. And then you're acting confused as to why men stop approaching you. Where else is he supposed to go? What else is he supposed to do? You told him, don't approach here. Don't go there. Don't do this. Don't do that. And now guys are like, well, there's not really anywhere that I can approach without being labeled a creep. They had these women. What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. A lot of these modern women think that men miss them. They be thinking that, oh man, I just gave him so much. I just did so much for him. He never gonna find a woman like me. Had one woman say something to the effect of, well, you can go find something better for you, but it's not going to be better than me. I know you probably thought about that a lot, and I know you probably are thinking that makes sense. But if somebody leaves you, let me say this, if multiple people are leaving you and they're finding their person, and they're staying married, then you're not really the best option, are you? He actually left it trash and he found better. A lot of these modern women, they talk about how men are playing games and all of this stuff, and men won't commit and all of this nonsense. But it don't seem to dawn on you that the men that are not committing are Chad and Tyrone. It's Chad and Tyrone. That man was never going to commit. You were never going to be wifey material to Chad and Tyrone. That's what men keep on telling you. How about you leave him alone and go talk to the nice guy? How about that? And instead of leaving and going and finding somebody, maybe it's not that guy that you put in the friend zone, but maybe it's a guy that's more suited to your needs, that actually likes you. You continue to stay. You continue to try to change the man. You can say, oh man, in a year's time, he gonna see how good this, my box is. He gonna see that ain't nothing else out there. I mean, how long is it gonna take him to see? Because it's been 10 years and he still don't see it. At this point, it don't even look like he trying to see anything but some other women. And you have a lot of these modern women. Once again, their brain is warped. Their brain is warped. There was a woman complaining about meeting a man in a gym. And essentially she was like, when he asked, hey, you live in the 4th floor, right? That's you. Oh yeah. Man, I saw your dog, man. It looks great. Oh, that's creepy. Oh man. So now I got to fear for my life and this and that. No, you don't. Because if the man already saw you up until that point, he already knows where you live. So he would have done something anyway, but he didn't. Also, we're missing context. Are you talking about the facility gym or just some random gym down the street? Because him saying you live on the 4th floor, right, would indicate to us that y'all are in the gym in your apartment building or your community gym or wherever you live. Oh, you live on the 4th floor. Oh, it's nice. I've seen you before. Yeah, man, I've seen your dogs too. They're really cute. He's trying to make a connection with you, but you're a loser and you're a weirdo. So you would think that men are really trying to stalk you out here, and they're not. As a matter of fact, some women in the comments said, the first thing that comes to my mind is I think it comes off weird. I think it comes off weird if you're not attracted to the guy, right? A lot of times we fault guys for approaching us or going to dating apps or whatever and whatnot. But this is why we never get approached in person, because we say weird stuff like this. And then the guy's like, what are we talking about right now? I think a woman actually backed her up and said, yeah, we got to learn to be better neighbors. We got to learn to be better people. And I appreciate you for taking accountability. A lot of these modern women don't really understand that men they're looking for a man who yearns, looking for a man who begs, looking for a man who has basically good conversation. Oh, I want him to be creative. I want him to do this, and this. But when you mock him and you degrade him for what he does come up with, because there used to be back in my day, oh man, you got to have game. I've never had game. I never even tried to have game, and I'm not going to do it. I might rehearse what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it, but it's usually going to end up in so many words as, how are you doing? My name is X, Y, and Z. Thought you were pretty and wanted to come over and introduce myself and see where it goes from there. If they ain't on with it, if they ain't on that type of time, I'm out. But like I said, I didn't really do that type of stuff. To be honest with you, I really didn't. Let me not go into that because I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. I met my wife on a dating app. I'll just say it like that. Met my wife on a dating app, and like I said, I would read the whole profile, which is really what I did a lot. I read the whole profile to see what they were talking about. It don't matter whether you're beautiful, don't matter whether you're making a lot of money, it don't matter whether, honestly, it don't even matter whether you're taller than me. To be honest, I don't care about that. It just matters if we can get on the same page, we have the same values, and I'll approach, hey, how are you? And if you answer, then you answer, we'll have a conversation. If we seem like we're going back and forth, maybe the first couple of times, then I'll say, hey, I'm not really on the app much, or I really don't check the app much. Would you mind if I get your number? If you're not comfortable with that, would you mind giving me your Instagram, social media, whatever, whatnot? And that'll be fine. We could just talk on social media. And then after maybe, I don't know, a day or something like that, then I say, usually they would feel comfortable giving me their number after about a day or so if we're talking on social media. So I don't know if it ever really got there. But yeah, man, y'all are filtering out these good dudes for these guys who are like 6 feet tall, and these guys that are 6 feet tall are dogging you out. And it's not all guys over 6 feet, but these modern women are looking for a certain type of man. And he's 6 foot and he has money, has this, and this. And it doesn't really speak to the character of who the man is. So even now you go even further and you say the guys who are 6 feet, those good guys are getting passed over. I mean, they might get a few more looks, but they're not toxic enough for a lot of these modern women. These modern women continue to try to blame men for the stuff that they do, for the foolishness that they're involved in, for the stuff that they're getting themselves involved in it. That has nothing to do with a man. That's on you. These modern women, over and over, you figure out, I can't figure out how to find a man. What do I do? Where do I go? How come a man doesn't want me? I don't know. Gee, maybe because you don't act like a woman. You don't act like a lady. Has it ever occurred to modern women that while a man is not living up to their standards, that while a man doesn't fit what they want in a husband and a partner, maybe and listen to me here, guys. I'm going to come up with a concept that's going to blow your mind. What I'm about to say is about to unlock every door, every fence, every gate, every obstacle in your life. What I'm about to say is about to blow your mind. And here it is. Watch this. Are you listening? Has it ever occurred to you that maybe you are not acting like the woman that man is envisioning, that he's thinking of when he thinks of, I want a partner, I want a wife? You don't look like a wife. You don't act like a wife. You don't act like a partner. You don't even act like a lady. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. What I just said, mind blowing. I don't know where you're going to get that information from other than this channel. I don't know where you would have heard that from. Never mind your parents might have told you that. Never mind your pastor might have told you. Never mind your teacher might have told you that. Never mind all of the men in your comments probably told you, hey, you're not acting from one human, one person to another. And I'm not even trying to get with you like that. You're not really acting like a woman right now. To be honest with you, not trying to shade you or not trying to be mean to you, but I will clean that up. And 9 times out of 10, these modern women are not going to listen. They're not going to do what you suggest. You make a suggestion, you tell them what to do, you take them, put them in front of where they need to be at, and they still don't listen. And they wonder why they fail. And then when they actually, they don't even wonder why they fail, because they don't care. They just wonder why. They wonder why men didn't fall for their BS. It usually works 100% of the, I mean, I couldn't miss with this move back in the day. Exactly. Back in the day. The former things have passed away. We have a new thing going on. A lot of these modern women, ladies, y'all gonna find yourselves single with a lot of this advice out here that women are telling you. And I understand they're trying to help. I'm serious now. I'm serious. If y'all continue to listen to some of the stuff that these women say, y'all are gonna be single. I told my wife, I think I knew the woman. I knew the woman actually before my wife did. I knew the woman. Had gone out, not on a date, but just kind of hung out and singles events and stuff like that. Just hung out. She knew me, and she was still talking reckless. In her, I want to say mid-40s. Still talking reckless. I don't want to do this. You need to worry about this. This is, coaching women through relationships, trying to do them a favor, trying to help them out. But then you're like, well, you're still single. You know what I mean? Like you're not even close to having a man. And then when you get close to being in a relationship, I know a lot of these modern women like to say, well, men don't come up, men don't approach, men don't talk to us. They do. It's just not the man that you want. And then when you find a man that you want, you get into that relationship with that man. Then you start talking about some weird stuff, and then the man is like, oh no, I don't think this is gonna work, and he's not responding to what you're saying because it's weird, and so it don't work out. Well, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, he didn't, and it's all blaming back on him. That's the type of relationship advice you are getting from women. Ladies, stop listening to these types of women. They will have you single. I told my wife, hey, listen, I'm sure she's a good person, but had you continued messing around with her, hanging out with her, you'd have been single too. And you'd have stayed single. You wouldn't have wanted to be single, but that's the way you'd have stayed, because you're hanging out with her. I know, sometimes y'all go to different places and you be around people and you think that they good people and they got some good things about them. That might be true. But some of that stuff they be talking about is toxic. It's toxic. It's not helpful. It's bad advice. Oh, well, I'm just trying to look out for you. I'm trying to protect you. Thank you for that. But how you view protection, it's not really protection. I don't even want to say wounded. I just want to say, like, maybe it's warped. Maybe you need to work on that. You fool around, go out here, get married, be in a healthy relationship, and then she's still out there doing whatever. Gonna be single another 15 years. I don't think she knows it, but another 15, 20 years gonna be single. Unless you clean up your act. Stop listening to these terrible takes by these women. A lot of these modern women are thinking that they can continue in the same way to get a guy as they used to. It depends on the woman, but some might use their body as a first resort. Some women might use their body as a last resort. But modern women usually have a trick up their sleeve, or what they think is a trick. Modern women are too busy trying to get men and wrangle men to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it. And they're not paying attention to a man saying, listen, I will do that for you if you just give me a little bit of what I want. I mean, my God, I had to go home from work. I had to cook. I had to clean. I had to do all that, man. And then I had to go back outside and fill up your car. Then I had to take your car to the dealership, sit there in the dealership, wait for it to be fixed for about an hour or two. Then I'm planning my day around you. Never mind, I wanted to watch the football game. Thank God for YouTube TV, or, being able to take the game with me in the palm of my hand, or else I wouldn't ever be able to do anything that I wanted to do. While you sitting up there watching your shows, going out with the girls, how is that a good deal for me? How do I benefit from that? If I'm running behind you, and this is what modern women do. They say, if you love me and because you love me, you should like doing those things. Right. But I did not get into this relationship. Modern women they're emotionally stunted. They're emotionally stunted. Well, I thought you loved me, so you continue doing all these things. Yes, but think about how this looks. Think about how it's playing out. You want me to go to the store and get the things for you? You want me to go to this store and that store and this store and that store? That's 2 hours out of my day. Well, you got 24 hours. Let's say I get 6 hours of sleep. That's 8 hours. Now I really have 16. I pray to God that I work 8 hours. Now I have 8 hours to run behind you and do whatever I want. For about an hour or two, you don't want me to get home and start talking to you. Now I got 6 hours to do what I want to do. You don't even leave a man 2 hours to do what he wants. That man, after that man get through taking care of you, and if y'all have kids, that man get through taking care of the kids, that man might have 30 minutes to an hour to do what he actually wants to do. Well, that's the life that you chose. Well, that's how it is. No. I chose a life where I would get some assistance, and you're not bringing me any assistance. So men are looking at that type of lifestyle and they're saying, this does not look appealing to me. Somebody nagging, complaining, saying that I don't do anything, saying that I'm not a part of the kid's life, saying that, oh, I'm a single mother, I'm a married single person, single mother, or whatever. And that's not true. Knowing good and well that you be doing some stuff, but you don't be doing everything. Not even a majority of everything. But you'll have TikTok in the world anyway. These modern women ain't ready. Now, a lot of these modern women, No, delusional is obviously the word that would come to mind, but it's more so. They say things like, at this point, he's got to come up to me. Well, he was until you told him not to. He's got to knock on my door. It's got to be a clear sign. Imagine what a man is asking you to do. Imagine what a man is wanting you to do. Give me a clear sign so I know. Well, you need to grow some. And that's why all you continue to say to a man. You just man up. You man up and you come up to me. Come up to me and make it clear to me. In no uncertain terms, a romantic gesture. Well, what does that look like? Assuming that assuming that you like him, assuming that you like him, then you'll allow him to kiss you and sweep you off your feet. This is the type of man. These modern women are so stupid, man. They're so stupid. They say stuff like, "We've given you the blueprint." Okay, what is a blueprint? Well, read this book. Read this fictional book. This fantasy of a story. Listen to this podcast that is also nonfiction, full of fantasy. Also, watch this movie that is also full of fantasy. None of it is real. None of it literally ever happens. Well, how do you know that? Because we've interviewed thousands, hundreds of thousands of couples, and their story has rarely ever been a meet cute. Has rarely ever been, well, he was just at the coffee table in France, and I just happened to be there studying abroad with my bandana on and my hip top, halter top, and I was cute and I was sizzling and I was fine. And then when we locked eyes, it was just fire from there. And ever since then, we spend all of our summers in France. That type of bull crap. I met my wife in a park. I met my wife at a gas station. That's the first time I saw her at a gas station. I was like, who is that? Wow. And I ran up and I said, "Miss, I am so sorry. I know this is probably inappropriate to you, but you are so beautiful. Is there any way I can get your contact information? Whether you want to give me an Instagram number, I would really love to take you out." And she genuinely be flattered. "Oh yeah, for sure. I got to get to know you first, but yeah, we can talk. Show me what you got." Actually giving men opportunities in everyday life. Modern women are continuing to want men to fly down and drop down out of the sky, to fly in on a magic carpet and sweep and swoop them up, to drop down like an eagle and grab them with their talons and sweep them up into the sky. That's what modern women are continuing to want, and they are not going to find it. They're not going to find it. Eagles live up way up high. They're rarely ever going to come down for you. That's what I'm saying. I want Superman. Superman doesn't even exist. But that's what these modern women want. It's not going to happen. I'm 42 and single. I'm 45 and single. You're going to stay that way because of your unrealistic expectations and your state of delusion. You know, modern women say a lot of dumb stuff. They will say that a man, what he's doing is terrible. I was listening to a woman, kind of dissect what a man was doing. I think he said he's 35. He was fit. It's like a 10-minute video. He's 35, fit. What am I doing wrong? And then people will continue to bring up, well, your politics, you voted for Trump, that sort of thing. And the more I thought about it, the more, you start to realize how short, how close-minded modern women are, right? A lot of these women are saying, well, why would you vote for a man like that who's trying to take away our rights at this, and this? Do you still have your rights? Do you still have your rights? He was president before. Did you have him then? Yeah, you did. So what are we talking about? When you stop, and the thing is not to endorse a candidate. The thing is to stop feeding into the hysteria. All of the foolishness and the BS that society is pumping into a lot of these modern women. And modern women are just guzzling it. Just, oh yeah, I believe this. Yeah, for sure. Why not? They're feeding into a lot of this nonsense, and they're expecting a man to go along with it. There's another woman talking about a man had an eating issue. Say it like that. He had an eating issue. Well, he didn't have any dessert. For a dessert, he had a banana. A lot of these men, their meal prep is just a variation of ground beef and rice or potatoes. It's just plain. They don't have any seasoning. They might have sauce. Don't listen to a man about your body. He doesn't understand a woman's body. Really? These women are getting results. I know you might not like it, but these women are getting results. Now, if you want to go out there and you want to eat for whatever you want to eat, do that. Fine. But if you start dropping pounds, that's why these women are following these men, because the men are dropping pounds. And they're telling you this might not be what you want to eat, but this is what's going to get you to where you want to go. There was a woman the other day talking about nutrition. This is what your diet needs to be. You can work out all you want to, but this is what your diet needs to be. There's a lot of male trainers that say the same thing. Nutrition is nutrition. And modern women get on this app and say a whole lot of stupid stuff, and then they wonder why they can't find a man. A woman went on to say, I went over this man's house. He had a fantastic refrigerator, a huge refrigerator. I opened up his refrigerator. He don't have anything in there, but basically the necessities. He didn't have any snacks for me to eat. Every time I said I wanted snacks, we would go to the store and get some snacks. He would do that for me, but why do I have to tell him I need snacks? Well, because he doesn't eat snacks. He doesn't eat that. And he wants to maintain a certain level of fitness, so he doesn't buy that type of stuff and keep it in his house. Are you insane? And then I had to make a charcuterie board for him, and men are so and all that other stuff. He doesn't eat that type of stuff unless you're around, because he's found a pattern and a strategy that will work to help him maintain his fitness. Are y'all? Man, just stop talking. So a lot of these modern women will say that they want a man, they want a family, and they'll do anything for a family, but they really won't. And this is honestly and truly why a lot of relationships don't work, because a lot of modern women say, well, I want this, I'm willing to do anything for it, but then they don't, not even close. And a lot of times modern women like to say, well, I'm the only one putting into the relationship and all the other nonsense, and you're flat out lying is what you're doing. You're flat out lying. You think that you're the most important person in the relationship, and you're not. People in relationships and in marriage have a tendency to think whatever they're doing, nobody else is doing more. I'm really doing a lot. And, I saw them sitting on the couch watching TV, so they must not be doing as much as I am. This got done, so they must not be doing as much as I am. And I do this, I do that, so they must not be doing as much as I am. And that's actually not even true. When you stop to consider, when you stop to look around and say, oh, well, they did this, they did that. Oh, wow, okay. I guess it is a little bit more equal than I was saying that it was. That's what a lot of people do, right? And when you listen to a lot of these modern women and they talk about their schedule and they talk about, well, I can't find a man, but then I got to go speak on this panel and I'm not going to put my friends off. I think there was this woman talking about she kept on trying to reschedule with a man for like 2 or 3 weeks, going on like the 4th week. That's undisciplined. Well, I got to speak on the panel. Okay. Well, I have a rest day. You know what I mean? Well, I have certain days I rest and I don't do anything. Now you're getting downright stupid. Well, I'm not going to put off my friends for some random man. So they fill their time up with, and I understand it, but they fill their time up with different things. And then when the opportunity that they actually want comes around, this one was talking about, man, it's a perfect opportunity. It was a rom-com moment. And I was like, wow, I want to pursue this. But you don't have any time in your schedule to pursue things. And I understand you go out there, you make your schedule, you stay busy, keep doing that. But then they don't have the critical thinking to say, okay, this can flex. Hey girl, I'm going out on a date. Can we meet Friday? Oh yeah, girl, go ahead. Let me tell you right now, that girl would do that if she met a guy like that. And she would expect you to understand, and you would understand. If I met modern women are what they would do, they're running a business, they would say, let me go ahead and shift her. It wouldn't be any nonsense about I got this going on, I got that going on. They would shift whatever they were doing to try to land that big client, whatever they were doing. And the girlfriends would have to understand. And as a matter of fact, the girlfriends would understand. And they would throw her a party. Let's go out for drinks, spill the tea. That's what they would do. But they don't treat the man that they actually like. They don't treat these guys with respect at all. They don't treat men that they want to be in a relationship with respect at all. That's why they do this type of stuff. Oh, I do this, I went here, I got this done. And he just whatever. And men know that. He just whatever. Just whatever I can get to him. Let's go for drinks. And men know y'all are doing that. And these be the same type of women that go to these events and they'll sit up there and say, why no man coming up to us? How come no men approach us? Same women. I'm not joking. Have a video on their page. Not even, probably at this point in time, a couple months back, if that. Talking about men don't approach. Talking about, I went to a singles event and these men, they didn't come up to me. I was nervous and I went and sat with the girls. And they say this stuff with their full chest online and they don't know how silly they